The following program is intended for mature audiences.
It's the music, movies, and shows you love.
As if we care.
And hate.
You ain't gonna like it none.
And love to hate.
I didn't expect that at all.
This is The Broken Remote.
Hey, coming to you live on tape on this Wednesday, August 16th, 2022, where we have just three weekends left in the summer. They say the summer goes quick, but shit, post July 4th this year flew by, even though it's the same amount of days as last year or the year before that. For some reason, this year just feels like it went by that much faster, and I'm sure I'll say the same shit next year too. Anyway. With that said, I'm hoping that you got back to your old ways, Thrill, and got your nose out of those damn books last weekend and did something fun, because God knows I did not.
No more books. I helped my sister move to her new spot, and then I went on a date. That was fun.
All right, yes.
Yeah, that was woo. Yeah, going on Hinge, talking with the females. Always a good time. And
did we have any political conversations here with this one?
No mention of who did you vote for right before coitus. None of that fun stuff. Like
that's good.
Yeah, right. Yeah, none of which has happened before. We were just like, now, okay, this is fun. This is great timing. But yeah, usual fun, and then back to the office this Monday.
Was it a Tinder date? Was it a Bumble?
No. Tinder is if you want to make sure.
Dare I ask? Did you meet her at a bar or something?
No,
because people don't go to those anymore.
I use Grindr.
Oh, there you go.
No. Oh my God. Yeah, my folks
for some
listen
people
to
it
this
might
now.
be
By the way, my folks listen to this now. Right now, or they're listening to it now. And my mom definitely had a heart attack for a second and said, "I knew it." Anyway, yeah, that's good.
That's the barbershop. They chimed in. They thought it was
there
funny.
You go.
Too.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, and then back in the office. No. So Tinder's if you want to catch HPV.
Oh
basically.
yeah, well I mean everybody gets that nowadays, right?
Yeah, everyone and their mother has it. Yeah.
That's like herpes simplex 1, right? Everybody gets it.
Everyone gets it. Yeah, you're not a cool kid. Like they check that at the door. They test your blood real quick. You don't have HPV. Oh, fucking virgin.
Right.
Let's see. Get the fuck out of here.
It's like herpes simplex 2. You don't want herpes simplex 1. Your funky aunt kissed you when you were a kid, and all of a sudden, you're getting cold sores when you're like,
are you
10 years
even
old.
living anymore? God, this
right.
Idiot. Yeah.
HPV, join the crowd.
Yeah, HPV, come on.
Or take another vaccine, right? That's the other option you have.
Get another vaccine. Yeah, I need that to be another requirement for wherever I go nowadays. I need to show another fucking...
Have you been HPV vaccinated?
Yeah. Where's your HPV thing? I had to do that for school, just the COVID vaccine. They made me re-get one.
Oh, I had to get mine too.
Yeah, it's just like, that whole conversation with people is super fun. But just, why is the COVID card just the most... fucking unwieldy thing of all time? Who is the jackass who said, let's make sure this cannot fit in your wallet no matter how hard you try?
You can't fold it, right? Like, it's the most oblong piece of paper.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit to anything that existed before.
Yeah. And God forbid I lie on this, because you give you a colored piece of paper used from elementary school that they put out just random, like, Wingdings font. This is when I got my COVID vaccine, and then you're just supposed to shove that on like a badge on your chest.
Not to mention, it is one of the most unofficial looking fucking forms I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody took a ballpoint pen and is like, this date, my initials, you're good.
Yeah, what's it called when you get it? Whoever notarized it is using literally one of those third grade like turtle font stickers that I used to have.
It's not
like
official.
In class. Yeah, when my teacher used to put "good job" on my spelling test, that's what they're using for your COVID vaccines.
Right. You get a little bit of white oak tag. You put it into a printer. You cut it out the size. You do a copy, and then you've got yourself a CDC card. And then he just takes a ballpoint pen. You fill it in. You're like, oh, look, here it is. I've got mine.
Yeah, you get shot up for the 40th time in the whatever used to be a Kmart. And then you walk to the very end, you go, Miss Beatty from 3rd grade. And she goes, Will, you did a very good job today. I'm very proud of you. Here's your smiley face sticker and a good job. And you go, can I now apply or like get through this job thing that I need for the real world?
And
Thank
you should go
so
back
much.
to Miss Beatty because she had great handwriting and just been like, hey, Miss Beatty, look, I need you to do the same thing you did for me back in the day, but instead of a sticker, just, write some like initials and a number here, and that's
Exactly.
what I need you to do.
Exactly. It's so official now. I love it. I love that they need it for everything I do. It was like a whole thing for getting my my master's right now. They're like, we need every vaccine you've ever gotten ever, and then it's like, really? Well, not really, but the COVID one.
The COVID one.
Yeah.
It's like you get your COVID card, and it's, I can do everything again.
You did it. You're a
But
person.
why? Why?
Yeah.
Well, because you can't get any. Well, no, that's
Yeah.
not necessarily true.
Yeah.
You can't
basically-
spread it anymore. Oh, that's not necessarily
Yeah,
true.
that's not really true. Yeah, just keep, it changes every couple months, every couple weeks. But the my favorite part is just how like you basically go from being a ghost in society where you can't interact with anything, no one sees you, and it's like, oh my god, congrats, you got the sunshine sticker. Now you're a person again. Good job.
What's
Yeah.
funny is that now that it's completely been debunked, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I think the most hopeful thought you could have or expectation out of this is that I would hope that through all these shots that even the people that got it, the people that got it that were vaccinated, they didn't get it as bad, right? I think that's the hope.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, thank you.
That's the hope that you got is that, hey, I got the vaccine. If I do get COVID, I won't die. But I
Yeah,
mean,
it's like the flu shot. Yeah.
right, exactly. But
Yeah, like you still get it. You're not going to die from it. That's the goal.
But you'll
some
never-
people, yeah.
you'll never have a control group that equals the vaccine group, so you'll never really know if we never got shot up and this thing just went the course it was going to go. Maybe we were all just kind of getting a mild sickness now anyway, right? I mean, you'll never
Yeah.
know.
I mean, it was just, it's so weird to look back on it. Just like, I just remember the week before everything got shut down, I was with friends at a bar. And we're like, you think this is going to like be a big deal? Now. And then we ordered Coronas as a joke because we thought it would be funny. Little did I know.
Yeah, that was the Corona joke. That was around for a while.
No one's thought of this before. As the bartender probably flips us off as we turn around. And, yeah, I mean,
think about all the names that it went through, right? It was Corona at first, then it was Rona, right? I mean, the COVID thing didn't come around until we were a good, 2 months into it.
Yeah.
And now nobody really calls it the Rona anymore.
Yeah, the Rona.
or Corona or anything.
Did you end up getting it at all? I know everyone seems to be getting it now, which is hilarious because
You would
no one got the
not
initial
fucking believe it, dude. From whatever, it hit March of 2020. So I built a little tiny bunker in my basement. I had, water for 3 months. I have pasta that I'll never touch. I am currently throwing out all of the pasta sauces that I bought because they're all now expired. I just threw out last weekend all the frozen chicken that I had, plus the frozen pizzas, because they're all since expired.
Completely making sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, I read about it. I got freaked out about it. I bought masks when you could get them, and then they were sold out. I was like, I'm the fucking proud guy. I'm the winner.
That's what my
made
mom
out.
did. Yeah, all the same stuff.
Right.
Also, it gets you stocked up on everything. We need all these masks. We're all going to die. And then I spent 3 weeks inside playing video games before I realized,
dude,
this is really lonely.
We brought the fam. We went down to Tom's River. We moved into my in-laws' house down in Tom's River because we were like, the hospital around the corner is stacked to the brim with COVID patients. If anything ever happens with the kids, we don't want to be here. So we went down there. We stayed down there for 3 months. I mean, it was ludicrous. But to answer your question of whether or not I got it, so I built up. I thought I was going to get it. My wife got it. She got it January of 2021. My youngest son has gotten it twice, January 2021, separate from my wife, 3 weeks after. Then he got it January of 2022. Didn't do anything for him. He was 6 and 7 at the time. My oldest son didn't get anything. I didn't get anything. And then I took a gig at a financial firm. First week of May, I was on the train for 4 days. I got out Friday, wake up. I'm like, man, my knees are a little sore. My hips are a little sore. Like, I
What's
feel a little
going on?
funky. And then sure enough, that night, I'm like, man, I got a sore throat. And then I woke up Saturday morning and I'm like, I'm sick. I'm fucking sick. I can't believe it. Fucking no way. I fucking got the Rona. Tested myself positive. It wasn't bad. I mean, I took the double shots. I am not boosted. I didn't buy into all that bullshit, but I did do the shots. Maybe it saved me. Maybe it didn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
No, I gotcha.
mild cold for about a week. And then, went from a sore throat into my chest, coughed it up, and boom, done.
Yeah, boom,
Finished.
there you go.
And that was it.
I got it legitimately right during Thanksgiving this year. Completely killed me for like
man.
a week.
Did you
which
get it
was-
and know it, or did you get it and give it to all of your family?
No, so I
Like
found
the
out.
champ.
I literally got sick.
Super spreader event at the.
I literally got sick, and I was like, I don't feel
At
that well.
Stilts.
This is weird. And then my parents, because my sister was in college, she was in her senior year, and I'm like, well, I'll get tested to make sure she doesn't miss out her senior year. Like the fuck, I have it. Found out I had it, so I didn't go. So I spent the loneliest Thanksgiving just watching fucking Netflix with my fucking Boston Market, and
the
then it just hit me
redefining
all
of
at once.
Netflix and chill.
Listen, exactly. It's the worst kind.
Yes.
But the Boston Market was pretty good, and Arcane on Netflix was a pretty fun show to watch while you're dying. But my I died for like a week, which was it was also like the worst time to get it because no one's working that week. Like I would prefer to get it a week when you have things
for sure.
going on,
Right?
And instead it's like everyone's off and they're like, "Oh, you're sick? That sucks. I'm at like a football game with my friends and family right now." Like that's cool, but then like, as sick
Dying
as
over here.
yeah, but as sick as I got for that, so I got the double vaccine and I got boosted, and the second vaccine.
Oh, you
shot
got boosted?
I got boosted. Well, I had to for work. I had to for work and school because they wouldn't let me do anything.
Oh
unless I
wow,
got the
they
booster.
required the booster.
They needed me to get the booster.
Wow, because
and I was
everywhere
like,
I've been, they require the first 2 shots, but then I'm like, I'm not boosted, and they're like, we don't care about that.
They needed the booster, and then because my school's tied to my health insurance right now, so I was like, fuck me. Okay, I guess I'm getting this booster shot. And the booster and the second shot I got, as sick as I felt for all of when I actually had COVID, I actually died after those two. Like I could not physically move.
After the shots themselves?
I was sweating so much. I had to I was like a puddle
Really?
wherever I was sleeping. And I had to go on a work trip.
Were you
the day after I
Pfizer
got my
or Moderna?
I was Moderna. But
Okay.
after my second shot for the initial one, I had to go on a work trip the next day. So I'm just like sweating and shivering my way through an airport. I'm like, I'm probably giving it to everybody. And now I'm going to probably get shot by the IRS after saying this out loud. But I was just like, I am not okay. I'm going to die. I probably should have canceled. I already paid. The ticket was already paid for, and I felt bad.
And you're sitting around just sweating. Everybody's
Yeah.
looking at you. They're like, that fucking
Yeah.
guy's sick. And all you hear,
Stupid asshole.
Exactly.
exactly what he is.
stay home, kid. Get the fuck out of
Exactly.
here. Why are you
Exactly.
staying home?
I was like, well, it's too late now. But then after like a day, it all vanished completely. But there was just like a night where you wake up at 10 p.m. and you go, oh, this isn't good.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that was, I remember I was taking my temperature every day.
Yeah.
I woke up one day and I was like, Allie, keep the kids downstairs. We're down Tom's River. I'm like, my temperature's 99 point whatever. I'm like, I just hit 100. Just keep them downstairs. And she's like, we've been hanging out all fucking week. Whatever you have, we have. Not just because you bounce upstairs and lock yourself into a room
Yeah.
one night doesn't mean that you're going to stop giving it to the rest of the family.
Hang on, I shall cast this magic spell with this wooden
Right.
stick, and now I am clean.
It was like, I'm going to roll up a wet towel and put it under the door. No way any air is going to
Yeah.
come through there. Don't worry, I'm
Yeah.
going to keep it up here. She was like, you're fucking crazy. Come downstairs.
Yeah.
Help with the fucking kids, goddammit.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like, all right, fine.
Yeah, it definitely got me in the beginning, though. That said, it was also just like the initial few weeks where you're just like, you mean I don't have to go into work and I can play video games constantly and not have to interact with people? Yeah, I guess we should lock down.
I think the best part of the lockdowns was just this initial acceptance across the board of, guess what, everybody? It's like Christmas, but it's going to be like this for like the next like 3 months, where you don't have to go to work. Yeah, sure, you gotta work, but like you don't really have to work. Look, we're all not working.
Did anything. No one. They had a meeting.
It was like
they had a meeting.
Super long vacation.
My boss. This is my last place. My boss at the time, like 3 months later after COVID hit, he was like, "Listen, we're all going to get back in the office. We're all going to get back on this horse. We're going to make sure we're not losing any, no positive attitude." And we all go back in the office, and he immediately. He goes in for the first day, and I didn't see him for the rest of summer. And I was like, what the fuck, man? It's just me and like a few other dudes in the office, and we're just like, what the fuck? Why are we back here? There's nothing happening. No one wants to do business.
Oh, there was the whole round of Zoom calls, and then it was like, Zoom parties with your friends.
Yeah, you'd go back in, like people would just be openly drinking at their desks.
Right.
Or just being like, what video games do you have on your computer? Because I'm bored.
Right. People were playing Zoom poker remotely.
Yeah.
Everything was remote. It was like, I can't see you, but as long as we're on Zoom, it's all good. This is completely normal. This is how people were meant to live.
Yeah, this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing right now.
Oh God, we went to ice cream shops that had like tarps, and they had a bucket that went through on a stick, and they stuck it 10 feet out, and they were like, put your card in there, and it was like, dude, I just want to get ice cream. We're in the open air here, and it was like, no, you got to stay away. COVID.
It was so weird. I mean, I loved it, but also hated it. I don't know. There was like a point where you're just like, oh, I need to interact with people or I'm never going to be okay again.
It's just funny because it was so extreme and it did nothing. It did nothing, yeah. Which is funny also because that was like the most viral strain, I think, but it was also like the least harmful unless you're like this 88-year bedridden 40-pound woman. Like, I don't know. It was just too random. And like there were 3 people from my high school passed away from it. Like, it's a legit. Like, we laugh about it, and like I'm not saying it didn't exist. It definitely existed.
No, it definitely did. Yeah, no, we're not Alex Jones singing.
No, it's just that there was no way that you could have done anything to blunt this or none of the measures that we did anything. Like, it just ripped through the population as it would have anyway. Listen, sure, the people that stayed home and didn't see anybody and like kept everybody 25 feet from their front door and property. Yeah, sure. They mitigated risk because they didn't get any kind of cold.
I am so personally, I wash my hands constantly. I have all this stupid, I still do this with like the wet wipes, mainly because I'm in New York and you go on the subway and you just see the vile filth in there.
Oh, yeah.
And like, have you ever seen the movie Contagion?
Yes, it was.
Like, I don't know how people...
rewatching that one.
Yeah, everyone was rewatching it. But I saw it years ago, though. And like, that movie, ever since watching that, and I don't know how, because I see this at work all the time, how do you not... The people that just like quickly wash their hands after going to like the work bathroom, how do you do that? Because I am so paranoid of every door handle I touch.
I've only been in one place, right? And I'll tell you what, and because you're talking about washing, I saw people going in and out of the bathroom and still not washing their hands.
Yeah.
Which is filthy to begin with, especially when you're taking a fucking deuce. But like in this environment, like, come on.
Dude, yeah, you would go into the bathroom of where we used to work together, and like you would just see some of the most filthy animals.
Right, it looked like Penn Station.
In and out. You're just like, what are you doing? And they just like they quickly run. They come out of the stall and they just run their hands under real quick with the wave. Maybe get them slightly wet. They wring them out once or twice, and they grab the handle and they walk out. And you go, "Oh my god!"
It was like
my god!
It was like an Ohio State Penn State football game. It was like the stadium was just beer cans all over the place. There's piss on the floor, water everywhere. That was our work bathroom. It was just an absolute fucking mess.
But my point is, even with all those masks and everything else that we had going around trying to stymie this virus, if some fucking cretins in society aren't going to wash their fucking hands when they're like after taking a dump at work in the office, how are we going to stop this virus if you just can't do that most basic thing?
It's just like 2001, hygiene. Man. Like 2001, everybody became everybody became the biggest fucking nationalist you could imagine, right? Everybody was all America. Nationalism was through the roof.
America.
We were, yeah, it was
America.
everybody was just so proud of their country. And within like 4 months, it was back to like, fuck you, get out of my way. I
Whatever,
got to get the
yeah.
fuck out of here. You know, it was the same thing with COVID.
Motherfucker, I'm from Boston. Fuck New York.
Yeah, fucking get on your other side of the river there, Jersey.
Yeah.
All right, fine. You know, like I get it. Same thing here. You know, it was we were freaked out for like a good year, and now we're like a year and a half past it, and it was like, you know what? I use a lot of toilet paper. My fingers
crazy.
didn't touch my asshole, so I'm out.
Yeah. I don't make a habit of doing that, so I'd like to say I'm okay. Yeah, unlike once again some of the I saw it at work today where a dude just walks out of the stall, does a quick, hey, what's going on? And they walk out, and I go, that scene from Seinfeld where he's just looking at Poppy and the sign, and he's just going like, and then like they're shaking hands in this meeting with everybody, and they're like, shake my hand. Nah.
It's like
No.
it's the you ever seen Mallrats? I'm sure you have, maybe
No,
not.
no, I
Oh
haven't
man, Mallrats.
Mallrats, yeah.
They want to get the one manager or whatever sick, and so the one kid goes to the bathroom and takes his duty hand and puts it all over the chocolate covered pretzels, and the guy eats it and gets sick to his stomach. So Kevin Smith, the old classic there.
Kevin Smith.
But yeah, I mean, nowadays, I can't. I'm just skeeved out by everything.
I've always been that way.
New York City never used to faze me. I never used to do the hand sanitizer, touch everything. I didn't give a shit because I was like, everything's filthy. But now I'm kind of like, no, not
I
for
get
me.
so skeeved out from just grabbing a bar in a Subway, dude. It just makes me so freaked
I wouldn't
the fuck
do it.
out. Yeah.
I wouldn't do it. I have not.
I use my elbow now when I do it, but it's just like
I haven't been on
a
Subway since. I haven't been on a Subway in a long, long time.
You're missing out. I saw a dude actually taking a dump there the other day. So that was,
there you go.
Nature's coming back to the city.
Well, I got tuberculosis, latent, not the full blown, but I got latent tuberculosis way back in the day, and
Eugene O'Neill, Jesus Christ!
I'm positive it was from the New York, and I almost remember I was on the New York subway, and there was a bum. And he was just sitting there, and he was like passed out, and he smelled like death. I mean, I couldn't even describe to you. I've never smelled a dead body, but I imagine it smelled like this guy.
Probably as close as it comes.
And I'm sitting there, and I'm trying to be, because I'm like, fucking nothing phases me, tough guy, fucking trying to be alpha male. I'm like, I don't care. I'm not moving. I'm not going to, I'm not going to act like an asshole and treat this homeless individual here like a piece of shit and walk away from him. I'm not going to be that guy, right? You know. And so then it was like a couple of weeks later or whatever, I got to go back to grad school. I get the test in my arm. I go back to my doctor, and he's like, does that hurt? I'm like, yeah, that hurts a lot. And he was like, yeah, that shouldn't. And I was like, what do you mean it shouldn't? He was like, that's your TB test. You failed it.
I got some bad news there, buddy. Yikes.
And he was like, have you been to a third world country or like dating skeevy hookers?
Were you barefoot near an ox? Like, what did you do?
He was like, did you cheat on your wife with a really dirty hooker or no? And I'm like, dude, no. I'm like, I tried.
New York subway?
Subways,
that'll do it. Yeah.
And that was
that completely makes sense.
It had to be. It had to be because I sat there for I can't even tell you how many stops. And I was like, this is so putrid. I was like, but don't move, Rich. You can't move. You're not going to be an asshole. Don't be that guy. Nowadays, I would have been like, peace, fucking out of here. I'm not standing next to this fucking bum. He smells like shit.
So my uncles have listened to the podcast, and they're from San Fran. They got slightly upset apparently because I was mocking the city for having the shit app, but as a slight bone.
If it's true.
It's true. But I will give them a slight bone in that New York looks like it's catching right up. So
I mean,
we are doing our darndest to make sure we can get there.
Every big city right now is just a disaster.
Every big city is just like they are trying their best. Like, oh, Wuhan thinks they're the hot shit. Oh, they ain't seen nothing yet.
Well, you know what? I mean, San Francisco was beautiful. 10
It
years
was
ago.
beautiful. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
there's always memories. There's always pictures. You know, there's always B-roll from back in the day. You know, there's plenty to remember the good days.
And Rudy Giuliani may be a madman who's sweating off his spray tan at all times now, but he did make the city kind of nice for a hot second there when he still had all of his marbles in a bag.
He was ruthless and ran it probably not by socially acceptable standards, but
he was maybe a dictator. We don't talk about that, but
probably broke a rule or two.
Dictators get the job done.
But that place was nice as shit.
Say what
Super
you will.
nice.
Yeah, I wasn't getting harassed by Elmar or whatever, third-party knockoff of a Sesame Street character tries to run me down for cash whenever I'm going through Times Square now.
Right. And look, Bloomberg followed suit, right? Bloomberg didn't change. He got in there, completely different party, but he was like, yeah, this is working really well.
I do love, though I don't understand, how much everyone in the tri-state area that I spoke to viscerally hated Bill de Blasio. It did not matter, like, race, gender, creed, political alignment, Republicans, Democrats, everyone fucking hated him.
Well, he was just such an asshole. I mean, he was such an asshole.
Douchebag.
There was nothing complimentary about him.
I can give him one in that his first name was Will, or I think it was. Well, it turns out he lied about his name, but he's 6'5". I can also give him credit for that.
Well, he lied about his last name?
Same height. His full name, like it was named after his dad or something. Let me look this up. But he's like, dude's a liar. Yeah, if you can believe it. Yeah, a politician who's not truthful about who he is. I can't believe it.
I know. Well, I mean, he got right in there, right in the mix during the Trump era, and when it was like, if you're a Democrat, you got to shit on Trump. And so he just did everything anti-Trump, and it was just so much. It was just
Warren Wilhelm Jr. Where the fuck do you get Bill from? And de Blasio.
Sounded better, right? I mean, de Blasio sounds Italian, sounds New York.
That's probably what it is. Yeah, it's like, this is Italian.
It's just name games, right? I mean, it's like everything now, whether it's a politician or a YouTuber, nothing's real. None of it's real. It's all fucking fake. Oh, look at this YouTuber. Oh, he's making box forts. He's he's jumping in a big pool of Jello. Yeah. He's also 32 years old.
For branding purposes, my new name is going to be Dante Ferrero. That just sounds way
Dante
cooler.
Ferrero, yeah.
Ferrero. That sounds way more cool.
And we got to give you a second identity, well, a third identity, because then you got to come up with your YouTube identity, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, of course. Yes.
Yeah. So you got to. We're going to work on that, going forward. Your YouTube name, your YouTube identity, what you're going to be.
Listen, I'm a millennial. I get to whine about being oppressed, yet also not oppressed, and also get to be a complete snowflake about everything. I'm allowed this. This is my birthright.
Yeah, but
you cannot.
I mean, you still got youth. We got to make money off you, right? So that's not going to make money. We need you to make funny voices or have a hand puppet or do Lego unboxes.
Wait, Lego unboxes. That's right.
Lego unboxing, right?
Yeah. Also, how dare you not turn your children into just marketable puppets that you just turn their joy. You tried.
I tried. I've tried, dude. They wanted to make videos. They said, "All right, I'm gonna go get a camera, and we'll do the Ace and Mace show, whatever you want." And then I got the camera, and I didn't invest a lot, but then all of a sudden I fired it up, and they were like, I don't know what to do. It doesn't matter what to do. You just got to be young, and I got to throw you on there.
To be fair, let's just look at what's his name. I looked up Ryan Toys Review net worth. I should not have done that.
Oh yeah, don't. You're going to punish yourself here. You go through any of the high flyers, and you're just going to cry yourself to sleep tonight.
I'm very upset right now.
FGTV, Dan TDM.
There's no way.
Beast Boy, or the Beast, or Mr. Beast.
In 2019, he was the highest paid YouTube personality with more than $26 million. They have an estimated earnings from YouTube of more than $100 million from their media empire. What the fuck? He's 11 years old.
You want to really blow your mind? Look up Mr. Beast right now.
Oh, don't make me do this.
Yeah, do it. You gotta do it.
Mr. Beast is like my age. He might be a little younger, despite the fact that he's the world's ugliest facial hair.
Look up Beast Boy.
Net worth. Oh, okay. His net worth is It says 54 million here. There's no way. Wait. Okay, because he's the highest paid. He's a net worth of 25 million.
No, it's not. There's not a chance. It's got to be higher than that.
Now it says 56 million. Maybe he doesn't have like the branding deals that this Ryan kid has.
What was Ryan at?
Ryan said 100.
How is that possible?
I don't know.
Beast is the biggest thing going right now.
I have to imagine it's like a branding
He
thing. 'cause of the
started
toys and
later
shit.
though.
Yeah, and so Ryan had like, it says he's had like 20 million years for the last like 4 or 5 or some bullshit.
Yeah, Beast only hit like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah. So he started in 2012. I'm learning all of this stuff. I resent it so much because I'm like, I went to college and got a degree and I'm the moron. Which clearly is the case nowadays, dude. Oh
Yeah,
my
I
god,
know.
all I needed was the world's most just fucking special ed smile and ugly ass facial hair. And then I could, God, what the fuck?
Let's see,
He
top
can't even
YouTuber
grow.
annual incomes. So what do they make? Man, 10. Is this year? How could Beast not be up here? But I mean, whatever. This is a list from beginning of this year. Oh no, Mr. Beast, number 1, 54 million. That's what he made. That's what he made for the year.
His face is so stupid looking.
Highest
I don't
paid
know.
YouTubers of 2021.
This
Beast,
is pure jealousy and
54
envy.
million this year.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, this is clearly just jealousy and envy talking, but I do hate your face, Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
Mainly because I'm not in your shoes.
Oh man, Unspeakable made 38 million. He's another one. I actually took Anthony. Sorry to plow over you there. I took
for it.
Anthony to go see Unspeakable. Who's
Who
this
is
kid?
Unspeakable?
He's a kid. I think he's down in Texas. He's already lost his hair. He just got cursed with the bad genes.
He
but
looks
he's
like he's
22,
80 years old.
completely bald. I know.
No, he's not 22. Get the fuck
I don't know how old he is.
Dude,
He's somewhere right. Yeah, whatever he is. But we saw him like 4 years ago. He was not 21 yet. Couldn't drink. We were down the shore. Took him to like a little
his
convention
face
center.
looks like a skull. What are you talking about?
Yeah, 38.5 million. He was in at 5.
He's 22. I can see his eye socket so clearly.
Jake Paul 45, Markiplier 38, Rhett and Link 30.
Jake Paul I don't like, but Logan Paul I have some weird respect for.
He made
I don't know
18
where it
mil
comes
last
from.
year, and now he's doing the WWE. Did you see him do the WWE match?
I mean, I saw that scam that was the WWE. I mean,
dude,
I can't even.
what are you talking about? No way. He was awesome, dude. He was awesome in that match.
Wait, WWE, not the boxing. He did the WWE match?
Yeah, no,
What?
hold on. Yeah, I think you're getting it mixed up, right? So Jake Paul
Yeah.
is the boxer, right?
Yes.
He's the one that's
I thought
doing
both of the box.
No, Logan is now
thing
with
with-
the WWE. And he just signed for like a multi-event thing. Yeah, and they just had him in SummerSlam. And, dude, he came – so leading up to it, all of the shows that they put him on, he was terrible. Couldn't work the mic. They were just bad sketches and bits. They had him working with The Miz. The Miz was trying his damnedest to lift this kid up, and he was just no good. They got in the ring for SummerSlam, and I'm like, wow, now this is where the wheels really come off because this is going to be a disaster. And, dude, that fucking kid nailed it. He fucking was flying all over the place. It was so impressive. He was like born to wrestle. It was like everybody. I went to Twitter, and Twitter was exploded. They were like, unbelievable. This fucking kid has it. He's going to be the next biggest thing in the WWE, so long as he doesn't like quit. But if he wants to ride it, he'll be like the next Rock. He was so good.
Listen, I'm watching fucking close right now. Yeah, dude, he's fucking people up. Okay, I don't like Jake. Logan, I have some weird respect for. I don't know why, but like, there's something different about the two brothers where I'm just like, Logan gets it. He's just, he seems
I don't,
more together mentally.
They passed my time. My kids didn't pick up on them, so I don't know them, right? So I don't know anything about them. I know they're very hateable. People love to shit all over them. But I just from seeing obviously you got to give props to Jake Paul just because he turned this whole fucking boxing into a thing.
Yeah, right.
And Logan, whatever he did in that ring, maybe it was a one-time only event that he was able to pull off in performance, I should say. But regardless, it was pretty impressive. But yeah, that's what I would like my kids to do is make millions of dollars, and so Dad can retire. Yeah, so I'm not going to work anymore.
Listen, that's better than my current job where we are just getting absolute just me and a bunch of snowflakes just get absolutely shafted right now.
Yeah, well,
So there you go.
you were saying snowflakes. Now, I mean, originally we're going to get into House of the Dragon, but before we do that, you were talking before we actually started this whole thing, and we were going to get into it, but we've gone on 8 million tangents. But just about all the softies
As we do.
that you work with, because
This is
it's just so different from just 10 years ago. I mean, 26 is now kind of like the acceptable age to get out of your parents' house. I mean, I remember when I graduated college, nobody wanted to be in their parents' house. It was like, I'm 21, I drink beer, I smoke weed when I want to, I'm out of my parents' house, I've got my own insurance, I'm trying to get a job. And now it's like, I don't know about all that.
Yeah, no, it's too much work, man.
Let's pump the brakes on that a little bit.
Yeah, that sounds exhausting moving out. That said, I was living with my parents for a good portion of the time that we were working together.
Hey, it's
So, that's it. Basically, that was the main reason. But there's so many people I work with now, dude, that are coming into work like, yes, so my mommy packed my lunch, and she made sure there's extra celery with peanut butter on it, just the way I like it. And you just kind of go, exactly, dude.
But that's the times, man. Everybody
It's
wants to be
so-
younger now. The goal when you were growing up was to be older. You wanted to be more mature. You wanted to be 21. You wanted to be 18. Then you wanted to be 21. You wanted your own car. You wanted your independence. You wanted your own, your own place. You wanted to go to bars, meet chicks, bring them back to your own spot.
Yeah.
And now it's like, it doesn't sound that great.
No, that sounds exhausting. I'm tired. I want my mom to tuck me in bed at night. I mean, what? Go home to my own plate. Do dishes. Ew, gross.
Dude, you could just use Tinder and have her come through the window at like 2 in the morning, and your parents won't even know, bro.
I know. I mean, good luck. Yeah, suburbia, where you even just try to setting up like those dates when you're living with your parents is so much more awkward than it is when you're on your own, because you're just like, so where do you live?
They come knocking at the door.
I live in town. My mom comes to the door with like probably talking for like 8 hours, and I'm like, oh, well, this date's over. Yeah, whatever emotions may have been riding high in the beginning.
But it's like everybody, you're 25, you're going to somebody's house. It's not their house, it's their parents' house. You're knocking at the door, the dad opens up. Hi, Will, how are you?
There's something about like the parents grilling the potential girlfriend or date about what they do for a living and what their 5-year plan is that just kind of takes all the passion out of the night. Where you go
at 25, I didn't want to bother with a parent. Period.
No, oh my god!
If I was trying to date a girl or hook up with a girl, I didn't want to talk to the parents at 25. I didn't want to become buddies with them.
It's God, what a treat!
And now it's right up in your face.
Now it's right up in your face, dude. Oh my god! But there's people at my job now, though, dude, where it's just like they'll be offered the most slight amount of criticism for whatever they're doing. And the folding they do under pressure is so bananas. Where it's like, hey, you know how you sent out this email? They're like, I sent out the email wrong. I didn't mean to send out the email. It's like, it's the subject of a letterhead. Shut the fuck up. Like, no one reads those anyway.
Relax. Change your Pampers. You'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this one dude was told, like, you sound like a little kid on the phone, and I'm still hearing about it from this guy.
Oh, really?
Nice dude. But he's just like, I can't believe that Ben said that I sound like a kid on the phone. I'm like, that's what's upsetting you?
Yeah, that's it?
Will you fuck off? Like, oh my god, dude.
Grow up, sir. Move along. Move along.
Oh my god.
The one saving grace we almost had was like the crypto era. Because like crypto bros, they made like all these like young bums like super rich really quick.
Oh my god.
And then it was like, oh man, guess what? Having money is really cool. Like I don't want to live with my dad and my mom.
It was, dude, it was all of my friends that understood the least about finance. And I don't understand that much, despite these stupid ass licenses I have now. But just like, it was all the ones that are like, yeah, I read Michael Lewis one time. And then all of a sudden they're talking to me about options, and I'm like, do you understand what this is?
Yeah, no. See, that's where they would all tank. That's why the crypto era was great, because there was understanding options. It was buy it, and then it's got 100 multiplier in 3 weeks. So it's like, I put 1,000 in. I've got 100,000 in the bank.
Everybody's a genius in an up market. Like all of my friends would have these like fucking strategies they would pitch to me with their fucking Robinhood accounts, and I'd be like, that's not even like a strategy. Like
Nope.
what you're doing is stupid. Like you're not even. There is one friend I had, great guy, fucking idiot with this shit, where he's like talking about his strategy and he's bragging about his returns, and I'm like, you're literally not even beating the market. You could buy the fucking S&P and you would be doing way better than you're currently
It's
doing
called
with
passive
your strategy.
passive investing, sir. That's what you're
took
doing.
a page out of Wolf of Wall Street, buying these things called penny stocks. Not sure if you ever heard of them before. I'm like, yeah, you're an idiot.
It's options, bro. Options. The multiplier you get off options. Yeah, so long as it always goes up. I get it.
Yeah. And options never go badly, as we learned from our job together. What could possibly go wrong with this strategy?
You hear the words yield enhancement strategy, I would say it's probably time to run.
Yeah. What? I don't know what you're talking about. What strategy?
How do we enhance yield again? Don't worry about it. You'll be fine.
Yes.
You just have to say yes. Just remember that word yes.
Say yes. Don't think about the math. Don't think about the math. It always goes up.
Don't Google yes. Don't Google yes, ma'am. You just have to say it. Just say it with me. Yes.
Say yes. Don't think. You thinking about it? Don't think about it. You thinking about it? Don't think about it.
Don't think about it. Don't Google it. Don't do anything. Don't put in yes lawsuit. Don't do anything like that. Just say yes with me.
No,
give me your money, and you will be thanking me.
Going great. And this is how we get sued by our former workplace.
Sayonara.
Yeah, peace, guy. It's been great. But that's my current work funness right now, dude. Oh my god, the nice guys, but a lot of not loving critique people. I'll say that much.
Yeah, I'm in a completely different environment now because I just picked up a new gig, and this one is kind of like a smattering of individuals from all over. It truly, they talk about like diverse workplaces, and this one is probably the most diverse I've ever been in, in my life. Like the people come really from all over the place. I've only interacted and met with a couple. I mean, most of them sound like they fucking really know what they're doing, way more than me right now. So, but it is a first, and really cool company, and they do a lot of joint things, and the CEO does like an afternoon call on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, keeps everybody up to speed. So,
awesome,
so I'm like a fish out of water right now. I have no clue what's coming or going. I'm just trying to get stabilized. But the last company that I was with, I was there for a couple of 2-3 months. And boy, whoo, that I did not work with. I worked with a lot of people that would have been in Mumbai, and actually some were in Mumbai. And and not to say that all of Mumbai are not capable, but the ones that I have worked with are not. And
if you could meet my boss, who I have a meeting with him tomorrow, and I should not tell anyone I work with yet. I will probably be leaving in the next few weeks as I'm looking for another spot right now. But this dude is straight out of freshly into the finance industry. He's older than me. He's he's in his mid-30s, I think. But he's dynasty. Every day what I'm thinking, we're the number one team at this firm. Every day I'm focused on how do we stay the number one team. We got to focus on this dynasty, this three-peat. Did I mention I run every morning? And because I do it, it's because of this passion and I'm running and I'm going forward, man. This
Your
dynasty.
organization's terrible.
It's just, he's a nice dude. But there's something
stupid up in here.
There's something about that attitude where I'm just can you shut up?
I can't handle any of that.
He had a 15-minute speaking spot. I can't ever tell him about this podcast now. But he had this 15-minute speaking thing at my job the other day where he was just supposed to quickly go over because he just passed his CFP exam, and big deal, really good job. But then he went on for an hour about him reading the latest Will Smith book and how he's he loves reading books about get after it. And I'm I like those books too, but I don't tell people dude, every day I wake up, I see something, I reach for it
this is
because
a-
I believe and
This
I
is a
dream in
whole
myself.
industry right now. I mean,
it is, and it's bananas.
dude, this coaching shit is an entire industry
It's
all upon its
so
own. And
stupid.
people are making tons of money. They
I'm
call themselves
off of these
I'm a
idiots.
coach. I'm a coach. They create some kind of stupid, program that didn't exist
Yeah.
before. They just make it up, and they sell themselves as this like personal motivator, or this is how
They
you get
get a-
things done.
They
And
get
it's
a
like
black and white picture of a lion. They put some fucking text over,
and they
maybe like some
suck these
Gatorade
people
sweat
in
droplets.
left and right.
It's almost a cult. In fact, I'm pretty sure if I just pressed a few more buttons, I could get them to drink Kool-Aid with me.
Right.
But
Or
it's-
drink some poisonous porridge, put on some Nikes,
Exactly.
and wait for the comment to pass.
Yeah, hey, listen. You got to catch that comment. You're not going to come for another 70 years.
That's right.
I'm trying to get on my planet with my million wives over the.
And take those fucking Reeboks off. It's got to be Nike, motherfucker.
Exactly. It's got to be Nike. What the fuck? I love that. What was the Heaven's Gate?
That's right. Hail Bop comment.
Hail
Was that
Bop.
it?
Hail Bop.
Hail
That's
Bop,
it.
right?
Yeah, Hail Bop comment. But yeah, dude, it's just nuts, that fucking attitude that dude had. And then I was walking out of that meeting, and I was just rolling my eyes at that shit. And then a bunch of people, dude, that really inspired me. That really inspired me. And I'm just like, and it's all those people that say like, that really inspired me. I'm like, you are 6 months away from never lifting a finger, if at all possible. Because like, there's something about those types of people where I just know like you are one bad week away from becoming the laziest motherfucker on the planet.
Yeah,
because you got to keep listening to fuck these idiots.
Look, motivation can come from so many different spaces, right? I mean, it really can. Wherever you find motivation, if it's in a movie, a book, a song, whatever the hell it is, some kind of life event, all for it. Go and do it. But this, I mean, when it just like hits people out of some kind of, completely choreographed presentation or some kind of webinar, and then all of a sudden they just walk out and they're like, this is, that was it. That changed it. Like, that was it? That was it. It wasn't like the lyrics of some like great movie, or you tripped on mesc and you fucking, you saw some Indian fucking, god that told you something special.
You weren't on, fucking mushrooms or some shit.
You didn't do some crazy, it was this guy at Timmy Bob's webinar, motivate yourself. Go grab that ring, .com
some former
version
Navy
2.0.
Some former Navy SEAL wrote a book about some physical thing that you'll never even be able to come close to doing because he's a little bit sociopathic and will probably murder someone if he's not careful. But, thank God he found, staying in cold, wet sand for 1 week straight.
It's crazy.
And then went to fucking Iraq. They're just like, it's always the same dude.
I got to pause real quick. I got the news on, and I just saw. Did you see the video? We did this 2 weeks ago, but did you see the video of Biden signing the Inflation Act? Oh my God! Dude.
Oh, I've seen all the memes of the IRS.
You got to see if you can find Joe Biden signing the Inflation Act or whatever the hell they called it. See if you could do a YouTube of it. Because,
I'm doing it right now.
Wow, that was hysterical. So they got him up there, and it's all the players. Manchin's up there, and Schumer's up there, and Pelosi. And Biden signs the form. Everybody starts clapping. He gets this shook look on his face, like, what the hell's going on around me? He puts the pen cap on, looks at Manchin, and then hands him the pen. And Manchin doesn't know what to do. So Manchin grabs the pen, and then all of a sudden he puts his hand out like, all right, do you want to shake my hand too? And then Biden's like, okay. And it was like, oh, wait, you handed him the pen. And everybody's like, what the hell are you doing? Meanwhile, Schumer was like leaning over, talking in his ear. Like, congratulations, sir. And he was like, the pen. Take my pen. Yeah. Oh, my God.
Isn't that? I'm literally watching it right now. He's very.
Our country has 2 more years.
Dude, he looks like a toddler. Like, it's just.
My God!
This is when you hand a 3-year-old like an ice cream cone, and he's like, "For me, for me." Ooh.
I can't believe he hand mentioned the
I
mansion.
know.
The pen.
Oh my god. I'm glad we keep having people that are like, should be the
Oh.
geriatric ward as our leaders.
I just
But anyway.
I have to stop. Anyway, all right. So
Yeah,
so,
so
now that
speaking
that's
of-
done, let's flip over.
Yeah, I was just
Because-
saying, speaking of bad leaders, let's talk Game of Thrones.
Yeah, so here we go. Right, this is your wheelhouse. I'll just let you take it. We're kicking off on Sunday. House of Thrones, Game
House
of
of
Thrones,
yeah.
House of the Dragon. It's a return to Westeros.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, this was your jam. Are you excited? Are you excited for the return here? Because
I mean,
everybody seems to be.
So here's my thing. I really wish I was. Game of Thrones is probably, if it's not number one, it's definitely in my top 5 most favorite shows of all time. That said,
Okay.
those like season 7 was a noticeable decline. Like season 6, there were definitely some issues. Like seasons 1 through 5, I thought were practically flawless, 10 of 10. Season 6, you started to notice a couple cracks. Season 7 made you raise an eyebrow, and season 8 was such a fumble. It's such a fumble. Like they dropped the ball and they sat down on it and it penetrated them. They had to go see a proctologist afterward. It's how badly they fumbled.
They needed
that.
an enema. They needed to get it
It
out.
was so. And the thing is, I think I liked the story beats of the last season, like where they were going with a couple different aspects, but they just did it so quickly, and they didn't really set anything up. And the actors, the special effects, those were all great, but the writing was just such a piece of shit. What an unbelievable hunk of garbage.
Yeah, they did not close the storylines on basically
No.
anything.
And
Pardon me, I just had a cough real quick.
no, good, yeah.
To me, now we watched it at different speeds because
Yes.
I tried, after everybody told me to pick this up, I tried numerous times to get through episode 1. I fell asleep almost every time, drunk, trying to watch it.
Yeah.
And then finally I plowed through it, and then I was like, oh, you know what? Now I'm into it about 4 episodes in. And then I binged it before season, what was the final season, 7?
8, I think, was the last one.
Before
All right.
season 8, I don't remember, but I caught up on all the seasons up until the final season, and then we watched it in real time. And so, the fall off that you're talking about, to me, felt so quick. Because, I mean, when you're watching it and you're binging it and you're watching an episode, 2 episodes a day, and you're like, wow, this is, they're just kind of slamming the brakes on a whole ton of shit right now in the middle, and this kind of is starting to feel disjointed where I need more explanation on this, and this.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, when we were at work, it just every day and that's what happened with the show is like if you go in raw with that show, you have no background, you're gonna get so lost. I think everyone has like that guide, as it were, for the first few seasons. You're
Sure.
like, who the fuck is this person? How are they related? What's going on here? But there's something about this show that's really interesting, and once you start to piece that all together, it gets like kind of fascinating and fun.
Right. The world building was done at a very slow pace. And
Yeah.
the rationale for that, obviously, was because they're banking on the fact that many people are going to have read the books and going to know what the worlds are
Yeah.
anyway.
Exactly.
And so
Yeah,
those
so I had
people will educate those that are not in the know.
Exactly. Yeah.
And everything will catch up accordingly.
Yeah, I had a friend like that when I started watching. It was like, okay, so this guy's this guy. He's related to this guy this way. They're friends. They hate
Right.
each other. They're brother, their sister. They're fucking each other, usually at the same time. And, then eventually I read the books because I really enjoyed it. And the thing with reading the books is like the first few seasons are basically verbatim of the books. And you realize like the story is pretty good, but George R. R. Martin's also just an amazing writer. Like he's just real, like he has a great like overall outline, but then he also like the nitty gritty, like leading from one thing to the other. He's an expert at least for those first few seasons. And they started to deviate in the later seasons on some of the plot lines where you're like, okay, this is like the same concept or the outline, but the like moment to moment writing, you completely changed from what he did.
Well,
And it noticeably suffered when they did it.
probably because they knew they had nothing at the end to bank it on. So they probably wrote backwards, right? And I'm not an aficionado.
Yeah.
Maybe they've already come out and said, "Oh, this is why we did it this way," and I wouldn't know. But it felt like they were like, "Look, we've got to end it. How are we going to end it? We're going to do this, this, and this, and then let's write backwards. There's got to be a break in the storyline, so we'll do it here." Right?
I don't even think they did, because it sounds to me like they just got fucking tired of that universe, and because they got their
Well, I
deal to
think
do
they got
Star
tired
Wars.
of waiting for him to write the damn books.
Well, I think also because he wanted to. They knew the outline of the story, which is so apparently whatever the ending of the show was is very similar to whatever the ending of his books are going to be. That's like the idea.
I actually heard today, because I was trying to catch up and rewatch some, YouTube
whatever.
previews of House of Dragons. It's been a while. I haven't watched. I haven't rewatched anything Game of Thrones since that ended.
Neither have I. I've been it's hard to get back. It's like a jilted lover is how I feel. Like I was so betrayed.
You're
by
not the only
something
one,
I
man.
loved.
Right?
Yeah, and
2 million
that's-
signatures on that form to have the entire
because-
last season redone.
Fuck those two writers, because you could have handed this off, and instead you said, "Nah, it's gonna wrap this up. Fuck you."
Right.
Fuck your almost decade of that was the water cooler like in college. That was an event like Sunday night after everyone got fucked up and drunk all weekend.
I mean,
and
hell,
everyone
they
comes
talked about it
together to
being
watch that.
the last show that people watched in massive groups.
It was amazing. It was amazing. It was great. Like the talking about it afterward, and then I watched the ending with a couple people, and there's only one other show where this has happened, and it was this spin-off of this show called Avatar: Last Airbender. That was this animated show on Nickelodeon, but it was really good. But there's a sequel series called Legend of Korra, and that ended. And I was watching that with friends, and it was this and Game of Thrones had the same reaction where that show ended, and everyone turned to each other and just went, "What the fuck was that?"
Right.
That was it?
I mean,
that's how you fucking end your show? Like, I don't have a problem with it, but like, the writing for this fucking sucked. Like,
I've seen. I mean, there has been so many shows that I have watched that have gone down that route, just not as horrifically as Game of Thrones. The Wire, I thought, ended terribly. Weeds, I thought, ended bad. Sons of Anarchy, I thought, ended bad. I mean,
people say that about Seinfeld, but I mean, Seinfeld does not have a great ending. But
Seinfeld's not a great ending. It's more of a comedic show, though. I mean,
but it's not like it wasn't this like episodic story that you're following week by week. It's more just it's fun and you can kind of ignore it.
Right. I was a big X-Files fan. X-Files did not end well. I wasn't not enamored with the way Fringe ended. I mean, I could go through so many.
Yeah, like basically every show that was popular on NBC at some point ended the same way. Where you're like, this is how you're ending it? Really?
I have a 5-year theory, right? And it has to do with anything content related. I actually made it up talking about rappers. And then I started.
I already know what you're talking about, and I completely understand.
Yeah, and I started.
Agree with it.
I started back testing it against any kind of content, and it's really about 5 years from when something breaks to the heyday's over, and it's just downhill from there. Right?
I 1,000,000% agree with this.
I mean, not to say that it's dead, but it's about 5 years from when you get the premium content till it's over and you're just getting garbage.
Which is sad because, like, sometimes the show doesn't get good till maybe its second season.
Right.
Like, the first season's just trash. Like, Parks and Recreation is a great show after the first season up until season 5 ends, and then it's trash again. And you're like, what the fuck is this?
It's always 5 years, man. It's 5 years. And I was doing it because, like, my favorite rappers, like Wu-Tang came out in 93. They were awesome around 98, 99. It started going downhill. They still made good stuff, but it wasn't what they were making from 93 to 98. Redman was one of my favorite rappers. He came out in 92. He was still, banging at 98, but it was downhill from there. It didn't get any better. And then I was like, let's think of like big like musical acts like Metallica. They came out in 82. 82, 84, 82 or 84, and then they were like all the way to 90, and then there was a Black Album, and it was downhill after that. I said, you know what? I wonder if this applies to anything. And it's like shows, all the rest of it. Shows they usually make them 5 years. That's about the extent.
Yeah. The Office, when does it start getting bad? Season 6.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so anyway, in this regard, I mean, Game of Thrones was over. Was how old?
Season 5 was the last 10 of 10 season for me, and season 6.
But when was
this
the
isn't
first
gonna
season?
make
When was the first season?
2009? No, 11. I want to say 11.
All right. I mean, whatever. That takes it to about 2017. 2017-ish is when it starts
17,
going
18,
hell,
yeah.
and that was like the final couple of seasons.
Yeah. But the
the
conversations I had the night that show, like not even the night the show ended, the night, like every episode of that season, because everyone knew it was 6 episodes that last season. And the conversation I was having with you and a million other friends of mine, where we're just like, what the fuck was that episode? Like the third one with the Night King,
Oh,
we've been built
man.
up in our heads for like
That was one of
you
my
came to the
bigger
sh-
problems with
Yes.
with the final season was
And-
they built the Night King and the White Walkers up to be like basically the big bad.
Yeah, and not to take away, because you watched the whole show, God bless you, but I had been curious about the Night King for like 8 years. at that
Oh, I'm
point.
sure. Yeah. I mean, if you
Like,
started
it
watching
was-
it in real time.
It was late, like it was drunk bar conversations.
Yeah.
It was on the way to work conversations, going in between classes. I would talk to people about this shit the night after the show. You're like, who is he? What could he be doing? What's happening? What a cool idea. And then just to be, huh?
Yeah, he was like the
What?
Darth Vader or maybe the Emperor Palpatine of this universe.
Yeah,
and then
and
it was
then-
like you never even got to know him. It's like
Yeah.
it's like Palpatine, but you never got Return of the Jedi. You know, he was just dead.
But then Luke or Darth Vader's not even the one that kills him. It's just like fucking Lando
Oh, yeah,
just comes
right.
out of somewhere and Lando kills him. You go, this isn't even your story. Like, this is Arya?
Right.
Why her?
With physics,
What's your plan?
with physics, I still can't get over. And I
No,
think I
she
showed you.
jumps-
Did I
Yeah,
show
you
you that
showed
picture
that.
of
Yeah.
Michael Jordan jumping from the free throw line? And
Yeah,
it was
right, yeah,
like
that hurt.
the physics of it actually kind of match Arya. So I don't know how Arya
So
pulled this off.
Stupid.
But-
so stupid. That
It-
whole Jon Snow, who his real parents were, which was like such a fun fan theory. And then that coming out, everyone lost their fucking mind. Like, I read the books.
What did it
For
end up
that
being
theory,
again? I completely forgot.
His parents were, it was Ned Stark's sister and the prince of the dragon people. So he's one of the dragon
So he's a
people, Jon
Targaryen
Snow.
in some way,
He's a
shape, or form.
Targaryen. He's a Targaryen,
Right.
it turns out.
Which is why
But then
then they
they
were
just,
like, oh,
like-
Targaryens do nothing but like fuck their own moms and sisters. So this is
Exactly.
perfect.
And, whoopsie. And then, he became like a useless character after that. And you're like, why are you here? What's your point? And then he kills Daenerys. It's just what a waste of a season. Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
everything was. It just they ran out. The books ended. They got tired of creating the content on their own. They just wanted to end it because they knew it
Yeah.
was over. And they did it
Right.
in a way that I don't know. I just don't. Again, it's kind of like The Last Jedi. I don't know how the property owner, being HBO or Time
I don't know
Warner,
how they didn't.
I don't know
yeah.
how they gave the approval. Unless it was just
Well, they
Godfathered
wanted
into
more
the
seasons.
contracts that they can't.
They wanted, yeah, that's probably what it
But
had
they
to be.
couldn't
Something
touch
like
it,
that, right?
Because
It's like-
you read the script and you're like, this doesn't work, bro. I don't even
Yeah.
care how you shoot it and how you make it look, but this doesn't
Yeah.
work.
Well, HBO apparently and George R. R. Martin both wanted like another 2 seasons as well. Like they were very hungry because
there's
it
no
was
way.
the biggest fucking show. Like, how would they not want to do that? Like, everyone wanted it. Everyone was talking about it.
Yeah,
And
but they
just-
had no story left. They couldn't figure out what to do with it, and they just wanted out.
Well, they could have. Like, they rushed it so hard. It's just crazy.
I know,
how much
well,
they did.
because they wanted out. Because they just
Yeah,
didn't want to
exactly.
deal with the Night King thing anymore.
They were
I mean,
tired.
it was.
I'm tired today. I'm tired today. I'm tired. I'm so. I want to go home.
We did that last week. I'm
Yeah,
tired.
exactly. Listen. That's what they do.
I'm tired.
That's where House of Dragons comes in. Like they have, I'm assuming they have new writers. I don't think it's D&D anymore.
Yes, a whole new
Like-
writing crew.
I think I know the story they're doing because I'm a fucking virgin nerd, and I know a bunch of like the background stories.
Well, I brought
for Game
myself
of
up
Thrones.
to speed with it, so
Yeah, so I think it's this big war that's between like the
it
Targaryen
is
family.
200 years before Game
Mm-hmm.
of Thrones, and they're doing the big dragon civil war, which has a name
Which-
to it, which I'm not
Yes.
familiar
Yeah,
with
I think
because
I believe it's the Dance of Dragons.
Yes,
Once
that's
again,
it.
I'm a
Dance of
virgin.
Dragons.
I'm a virgin.
There
I'm a
you go,
virgin nerd.
sir.
There you go.
So
I
yes.
hope it's good. But George R. R. Martin, he wrote so he has all these gigantic omnibus books, and he has this new book that came out that my friend actually got me a copy of that I've not read yet. But I don't know if he's written specific scenes for this period, and I really only trust him as a writer for this property anymore, because the other guys really just adapted what he had previously written.
Right. Well, what this is, right? So this is the 2018 novel, put into long form television.
So, please be
Cross
good.
your fingers. But look, if you have basically the skeleton of the story out in the novel, right? I think you can tweak it and insert more detail, so long as you've got the story from A to B lined up. It's hard to fuck that up. It's when you have the story start and there is no B, there is no destination, and then you put it into somebody else's hands that it's that's where it gets messy, right? It's Last Jedi.
It's not, Last Jedi. Exactly. It's Star Wars, where they're just like, I don't know, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out, And it was like, no, that is proven never to work. Never.
Yeah, no. I'm hoping it's good. I'm hoping.
It's
I'm going to try to find a way to watch it, because everyone I know got rid of their HBO subscription 6 months after Game of Thrones ended.
Oh, yeah, people were
so
very
now
heated.
You got to talk to somebody about splitting an HBO account for at least the next couple months, it sounds like.
Right. I will say that I have high hopes, because there is, there is not documented material, but there's source material. There's source material for, the production crew, and who I don't even know who the production crew is doing this show, but for that crew to adapt, right? So you got good source material, and if you've got to backfill areas in order to make the season longer, that's always easy to do. I mean, they're doing, again, I referenced Star Wars only because of the size of the universe and the fact that they're doing this right now, where they are trying to fill in holes by backfilling, whether it be shows like The Mandalorian, books like Shadows of the Sith, or Obi-Wan Kenobi, whatever it is, they're backfilling stories. So if you have a book like the one that he wrote here, I don't know what the 2018 novel that they're basing this off of, but that novel, you backfill it to make it longer. I mean, that will work. And you're dealing with an era that kind of, gets into their sweet spot. It's all dragons. It's all death. It's all fighting. Right?
And there's no way this can go wrong, right?
I mean, there's not 3 dragons. I think they said there's going to be up to 18 dragons in this
shit.
There's
a bunch. Yeah, there's, from my virgin knowledge, I'm way too educated about this stuff.
Well, I mean,
so there's a bunch, and they all end up murdering
You're not
each
alone
other.
there, sir.
Spoiler alert, yeah.
You're not alone on Island Westeros.
Yeah, so hopefully it's good. That's one of that and the Lord of the Rings show. I'm really hoping it's going to be good.
Now, do you think, now that they are doing a Jon Snow story, but do you think it's kind of cheap that they went back 200 years to do this book? Because, I mean, visually, we're going to give them dragons. We're going to give them fights. We're going to. It's also easy to do in the sense that you're going to meet expectations.
If you want me to watch something, I fucking love dragons and stuff. It's just the coolest fucking fantasy shit to me. So I'm going to watch it.
Again, you're not alone. And I think that, sure, we could do the sequel with Jon Snow and all that, which I think that they are doing. It's another one of the properties. I think there's 8 projects in development for this
basically
world.
The way I see the Jon Snow thing, it's like, did we fuck it up, or maybe this is an extended conclusion, so you're not as mad at us anymore?
I would never touch that in a million years, because you'll never be able to fix the broken end to Game of Thrones. And there's just too much risk involved, which is why House of the Dragon is such an easier, bite to take off the sandwich.
We'll see what happens. I don't know. I'm not holding my breath for it anymore. I just want one thing to be good. It's either this or Lord of the Rings. The new Lord of the Rings show are going to be good. I only have faith one of them might be good. I'm hoping it's both. I would love if it's both. I love Lord of the Rings. I love Game of Thrones.
Let's say it's not this one. How do they screw up House of the Dragon?
Just shitty writing, I think. I mean, if they just rush through the plot, maybe you just have shitty, uninteresting characters, which they could easily do. I mean, the last few seasons of Game of Thrones just got very fan servicey, And part of the joy of Game of Thrones was just no character ever really felt safe. Like, you kind of walked away from it, like, every episode of the week where you're like, oh, thank God my favorite character's not dead after that first season. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, okay, they lived to fight another day. But that kind of...
Well, this is like all Targaryen, right? I mean, that's what the bread and butter of this show is. This is that bloodline, that family name basically imploding. So that's going to be the really characters and the storylines.
Yeah, there was an internship where all I did was read like Game of Thrones lore, and this was like back when I was in college, and it was just like they're really interesting backgrounds and characters and shit for all these guys. So I'm hoping they are able to spice that in some way, shape, or form. But once again, I'm gonna just hold my breath until that comes out because I am so not as enthused as I want to be, despite the fact that this is Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I thought you would be, because I'm
gonna watch it. I was so. It's like your ex-girlfriend coming back saying she's changed. That's what this feels like to me. And like, she cheated on you, and like it broke your heart. And then she, she just left for 5 years, and now she's coming back, and you're like. She's like, no, trust me, I'm changed. I'm a completely different person.
Yeah, no, it's too soon. I got you.
It can be just like it used to be. It can be just like it used to be when we were together. Remember when we were together, all those good times? Yeah, I remember those good times.
No, she needs to be divorced, married, mother of one, right? She needs more time. More time and more tread worn off the tire.
It's just, I
still
don't
a little too fresh.
I can't look her in the eyes anymore. Like, it's just, there's just that breach of trust, and I really want to give it to her. I really want to feel those feelings again. But it's gonna take a lot to rebuild this bridge.
Yeah, maybe. I think my biggest fear of the show is that it's boring. Right?
That would also be
the the visual effects is great, everything else is great, but you just get to know the characters, and while the story's there, you're like, I don't know, these guys are really boring. I don't want to, I can't get into this. Again, that would be my one fear. Because they're going to hit it again. They went back to the Dragon era, so you're going to hit it on all the visual stuff. It's going to be tough to screw that up, right? So, the storyline, hell, it's a civil war, a dragon civil war. Tough to screw that up. But the characters, I question.
It sounds so badass. But once again, I am just like, we'll see.
Right, head scratching. Because
literally, your college ex-girlfriend coming back. I'm a completely different person now. I swear to God.
Again, to compare established worlds, Star Wars could do no wrong, and then you make up characters like Poe Dameron and Rey Skywalker.
What do you mean? He was so cool. Remember that one time where he did that thing?
Right, in Finn, and insert a random sequel trilogy character here, and at the end you're like, I hate this because these guys suck. They're just boring, and it has nothing to do with any of their like questionable sexuality or their diversity or any of that. The characters themselves suck. They're just boring. They're fucking boring.
Also, I feel like the first Game of Thrones, like, there's a lot of like shock that you just never saw on television when that one came out. Like, holy shit, is there these siblings are doing incest?
Oh, like, there was a sex factor to it too. I forgot about that.
A lot of like the just raunchy, just like, at least for me, my first real experience to just like, oh, they're just fucking on screen right now, just out of nowhere, for no reason, like, just like, oh, they're just out there, they're just like slapping each other's dicks or breasts or like look at this vagina.
They did love being naughty on that show, for sure.
Exactly, they did. And that was my first real experience to seeing that on TV. I'm sure there was stuff like that around before on other HBO shows, but I just did not really watch them then at that point.
Yeah, there were more Showtime shows, but yeah, they were out there.
Exactly, but like, I feel like now, like every show nowadays is like, naked people? Yeah, we got them. Yeah. Oh, you know how Game of Thrones did it? Well, here's this dude's ass. Right. And this dude's ass.
Well,
and it's a hot tub scene.
To that,
and here's this girl's ass for the first season, and then she becomes an actual person for the second season. So now you can't see her ass, and you go,
right. To that point, the world is numb to any of that crap at this point.
Yeah, right.
With internet porn and sexuality thrown into every single, cornerstone of the world in which we live, it's tough to find any kind of shock value. I mean, it's impossible. I was sitting at a bar 2 weeks ago, and we were there. I forget what we were watching. I think we were watching the Hall of Fame game, and afterward, it rolled into who does the Tonight Show? Jimmy Fallon, and there's all of a sudden there's just this big, heavy-set black dude, and he's got nails like this long, and shorts that sat at like mid-thigh, skin tight, and he just was like twerking all over the place.
Yep.
And it was just he's a musician, and saucy
If you don't find it sexy and you're not actively masturbating to it, you're going to prison. You're a sexist. How dare you? How could you?
And I was sitting there, and I'm like, I don't know what the hell I'm watching right now, but I guarantee you this doesn't shock anybody.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Right? Like, whereas if that came out in, I don't know, anywhere from like 88 to 98 pre-internet, parents are up in awe, it's kind of like insert Madonna when she came around, and Lady Gaga when she came around.
Ruining the culture.
Gaga. Yeah. Right. It's like, they're inserting sex into our lifestyle.
Yeah.
My children, the impressions on my children's eyeballs.
Yeah. Now, granted, that said, maybe they had a point, because now, like, I feel like every other fucking medieval show that comes out, there's like one mandatory, like, did you know this couple was incestual? Just like Game of Thrones. And you go, okay, we get it.
And I mean, with reality, you can't beat reality right now, right? I mean, the fact is that, I mean, with people changing sexes and gender identity and birth identity and all the different stuff that's going on right now, I mean, nothing is shocking. There ain't a single thing that's shocking, right?
Have you signed your kids up for a drag show yet? If you haven't, that means you're a bad father. I mean, everyone knows that.
No, I haven't.
I know that what's your oldest son's drag name? This is a quick question. I think
understand.
Tempest Storm. How about that? That's a great.
They've been indoctrinated as professors in our society, and they're now like educating, kids on like American history. But no, I haven't taken my kids to a drag school yet. No.
I have to. I'll send you this later. But there's like the fucking people from my school. Now I was no cool kid in my high school, if you could believe, dear listener, but. My, the fucking really weird arty kids that just never got anything and were just legitimately just the bottom of the totem pole losers who have just turned into the most, like, they're my age. They are 27 to 28 to 29, and they look like they are in their early 50s.
They just age quick.
Either they shave their heads or they're just so ridiculous, like, not overweight. Like, it is an obscene amount of weight that they have put on to the point where they're just like, I'm body positive. And there's a girl I went to high school with that I will send you a picture of right now, just so you have fucking.
I hope she went the other way, Will. I'm trying to see. I'm trying to watch and look at things that appeal to
This is your wife's gonna have some questions. Your wife's gonna have some questions once she sees this picture here. I'm sending it to you right now, and the caption she had underneath. Just look at your phone.
She's body proud. I mean,
is she body proud?
Oh,
and just so you know, but before I continue, guess what her?
Boy!
Yes. So, just really quickly,
those are bills, baby. Bills.
Those are. She is basically
several bills, baby.
Because this is a podcast. She's basically the Pillsbury Doughboy with more weight on the hips. And without the hat.
Oh my God, I feel bad for her.
No, because you want to know what she does for a living?
I'm sure she's obnoxious. Oh, why? She's a
she teaches second graders about sex ed.
Oh no, does she?
Yeah, and she shows them pictures of her vagina. Yeah, so don't feel bad. She's a nightmare.
She posted and she wrote the comment about herself. Oh.
Yeah. No. This isn't a story of a woman who's just, had a rough period. No, she is proud, and she's going to shove it down your face how proud she is.
Oh.
Don't be rude.
Sorry, Don. You got to look at it, though,
Listen, she posts on Facebook, and she's like, I'm so proud of myself. I'm like, you're the kind of person that makes people vote for Trump. because they just want.
This is her comment. She's the first one to comment to her own picture. She updates her profile picture. Can you believe I spent most of my life scared to wear a bathing suit in public? If this is ADA, comedians are going off, insanely on that alone.
Oh, yeah.
This is the summer of, and here you go, get ready. It's not a hashtag, but it's just something that's almost as annoying. This is the summer of freedom and I'm just going to stop saying dashes, but everything from freedom on is a dash. Freedom and joy at the beach for her name in as little clothes as possible.
What a doll. What a doll.
I don't, it's not enough to be proud anymore. You also have to be loud.
You need to
be loud and proud.
If I don't shove I did my dishes today, Rich,
right,
and I'm going to shove it down your throat that I did this. Look at me doing the bare minimum of being a human. Tell me I'm cool.
Right.
Tell me I'm cool.
Now, I listen to a ton of podcasts, and a lot of them are football podcasts. And the football podcast world is just like this. It's not enough that you're like on a podcast and you've caught some viewers or listeners and you're doing well for yourself and you built your own. Like, you're always going after all the other people in your field and like shitting on them, or you're building yourself up and you're laughing about how good you are at whatever you do. And it's like not enough to do what you want to do. You also have to establish yourself, on the spectrum with everybody else. And, I just, it's not the era that I came from. So it's very foreign to me. I mean, they're definitely being confident for sure. Good. Be confident. That's one thing.
You did it? Question mark.
But it's the constant lack of self-awareness as to like, you know what? You're pointing to yourself because you're like $3 bills and you're in an outfit that doesn't really fit, and it probably is not an image that a lot of people want to see. Yeah. So, you can be happy with yourself. That's fine. But, you're not going to tell anybody that this is what they want to see. It's just
no. She's
reality.
Gorgeous. She's gorgeous, and you have to tell her you want to have sex with her. Otherwise, you're a pig. Everyone knows.
Right. Well, that's like that whole movement. Lizzo's part of that movement, and there's a lot of other, the plus size models and the whole rest of it. Hey, look. There are plenty of fetishes out there. There are some people that are enamored with heavy set people.
Yes.
All the power to you. Right? But, I talk about numbers. I like numbers. I'm a data guy. I'm a number guy. And the problem is that, a $3 bill girl in a skimpy bikini is appealing to maybe like 1.2% of the population.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So,
And also, dear viewer, just because we have not mentioned this, she has also shaved her head completely bald.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that. But it doesn't help.
Elaborate.
It doesn't help.
It is by choice, as far as I'm aware. But she is not. If she had an actual health condition for why she wasn't doing it, I'm pretty sure she would let us all know based on her Facebook.
She kind of looks like my friend Big D down in Florida, and it's really kind of fucking whacking me out. I might send this to him, and I've been I can't because he was he's been heavy set too, and I don't want him to take it as an insult. So
yeah,
all right, I'm gonna stay away from that one. That one's got too many red flags.
Yeah,
not that we haven't tackled red flags for the past fucking hour and a half anyway. So
yeah, there you go.
So be it. All right, so we'll wrap up here, and we will get ready for Sundays. Where are you going to be watching?
I don't know. Probably at
House of the Dragon.
My whole family, we're all going to be down together this weekend. I think down at the beach. So it's me, a bunch of my cousins, and my immediate family. So we'll all probably be trying to watch it together.
All right, good deal.
God, that it'll be good.
Yeah, well, I don't know where I'm going to watch it. I got to figure out if there's anybody around here that watches it, but I didn't get to watch the first one, in a big crowd, and so I'm hoping I can catch on somewhere here. But I hope it's good, and that we're not coming back next week when we recap the first episode, and it's like, oh man, they did it again. They screwed it up right out of the gate.
Listen, if my first word in the next podcast is, well, then you'll know exactly what I feel.
All right, good deal.
That happened. Yeah.
All right, Thrill, we're out. We'll talk to everybody next week. Enjoy this weekend, and watch some House of Dragon so you know what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah. Godspeed.
All right, peace out. See you guys.